CNN panel attempts to downplay poll showing Americans support deporting illegal immigrants. I mean, poll after poll after poll showing that the majority of the Americans want illegal immigrants deported, especially the criminals. Like almost 80% of the people want illegal immigrant criminals deported. And this is what we talk about when we talk about 80-20 issues. Democrats being on the 20% on almost every 80, well, I know almost on every 80-20 issue, Democrats are on the 20%. This is why they continue to lose, because they keep pushing these unpopular positions. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip from CNN and hear what the panel has to say about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller. And they report that a Friday CNN panel attempted to minimize a Fox News poll published Thursday that found 63% of Americans support deporting illegal immigrants. Now, this is just illegal immigrants in general. I think it's like 79%. What I seen from another poll, a different poll, 79% want to get rid of criminal illegal immigrants. So it's even higher when you add the criminal aspect to it. But President Donald Trump pledged during his 2024 presidential campaign that he would conduct mass deportations if reelected, an agenda that also has majority support, according to Scripps News Ipsos poll published in September. However, PBS NewsHour White House correspondent Laura Barron Lopez and journalist Peter Hamby suggested on Inside Politics with Dana Bash that deporting illegal immigrants may not be as popular as the polling indicates, following a segment by immigration correspondent Priscilla Alvarez about the family members of those Trump deported on Saturday in planes to El Salvador. It's so untrue. This is like the number one issue that Trump ran on. This is the number one issue. I think only second to only to the economy that Trump people elected Trump for. This is one of the main issues. So, but let's hear what they have to say about it. Here we go.
Laura, I want to bring you in and just show our viewers what the public opinion generally is about the deportation
Sorry, I can't enlarge it.
Of those undocumented immigrants living illegally in the United States. 63%, according to the latest Fox News poll, say that they favor deporting those immigrants. So that's a pretty high number. Can you square that with what we just heard from Priscilla's reporting?
Yeah, I think that obviously the president has kind of blanketed the airwaves with saying that all of these people deported are criminals. And given the fact that we, reporters like Priscilla, we have very limited information to who exactly has been deported. The government has not handed over names. I know CBS got a hold of a list of names, but that hasn't been provided to those who are asking for who was actually deported. And there is a difference between someone who came into the country illegally versus someone who overstayed their visa. That's not a crime, versus someone who has no criminal record, no criminal history.
Hold on. Overstaying your visa is not a crime? Is it not illegal to overstay your visa? What is she talking about?
And based on my reporting, based on clearly Priscilla's reporting, there are some Venezuelan nationals whose family members, whose lawyers say that they were deported, who have no criminal record, who have no criminal history, that they legally applied for asylum or were trying to gain status, where some of them were in the middle of proceedings, and then they were deported to El Salvador. And now their lawyers, their family members can't reach them. So sometimes I think it's also the way we ask those questions in polls, which is, are we framing it as they are illegal immigrants, or are we splitting it up and saying some of these people overstayed visas, that's not illegal. Some were in the process of claiming asylum. Are Americans opposed to all those different types of immigrants that have been living in this country, in some cases, for decades?
Yeah, that's a very fair point. And Peter, to that point, it is why transparency is important. We're clearly not getting it. And
let's ask let me ask my handy dandy AI here. Is it illegal to overstay your visa? Let's see what they say. Okay. Overstaying a visa in the United States is not classified as a criminal offense. Okay. It is considered a civil violation, so which it is technically illegal, but it's not a criminal offense. However, it can lead to serious consequences such as deportation or removal, which is what's happening. You may be required to leave the U.S. and could be barred from returning for a certain period, 3 or 10 years, depending on how long you overstayed. So, okay, it's not a crime it's not a criminal offense, but it is illegal though. It is illegal.
Reporting like Laura and Priscilla's reporting about who these people are and are not as they are kicked out of the country.
I was thinking just that. A lot of political fights are academic and opaque to a lot of the American public. If you look back on Donald Trump's first term, the moments when he really saw big public backlash were moments that were accompanied by images, videos, stories of people, child separation being a good example, January 6th being a good example. You see the videos. And that's how I think, not to pivot to politics, but...
Well, it is inside politics, so you're good.
Thank you. Safe space. Democrats who are figuring out how to win the argument on a range of issues, DOJ, immigration. They're not really fighting on immigration because they got smoked.
They are on the wrong side of all of those issues.
Not to pivot to politics, but...
Well, it is inside politics, so you're good.
Thank you. Safe space. Democrats who are figuring out how to win the argument on a range of issues, DOJ, immigration. They're not really fighting on immigration because they got smoked on that issue in the last election. But Priscilla's story is a great example. 60 Minutes did a great piece on USAID, visualizing the consequences of what's happening. When you just talk about and argue about a government shutdown or Elon's getting into the Treasury Department, I think a lot of that, as outrageous as it is, falls on deaf ears until voters and news consumers can have some emotional connection to the story and be like,
no, that's not it. This is what Americans voted for. We want to root out the corruption and the fraud that's going on. Only people that's upset about it is the people that are benefiting from this corruption and from this fraud. Those are the only ones, the people that are upset about what's going on with Elon Musk. And also the loony leftist crazies that just hate what's going on because it's Trump and it's Elon Musk. Other than that, normal average American citizens are all for government accountability, which is what's happening here.
This sucks. And then Laura made a good point too, which is when you start to split hairs on immigration, the vast majority of Americans want criminals deported.
Yeah.
But those numbers shrink when it gets into, do you support separating families who have been here? Do you support...
Well, they decided to come here and break the law. They know that they're here illegally, so it's not a reason just because there's a family to not send them back. You know, when someone breaks the law here in the United States, do they not send them to jail because you don't want to separate the family? This happened every day to Americans. This happened to Americans every single day. They get their families separated because someone broke the law and they go to prison and they go to jail. So what makes illegal immigrants any different than that?
Deporting people who have been here 10 years, support for that is pretty low. Do you support people who've been here 2 years? Support gets higher. So again, you need individual stories like that one, which are incredibly moving.
We're going to have to sneak in a quick break.
Not going to work. They're coping. It's not going to work because, again, the majority of the American people want this to happen. We want to send them all back. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.